Hello, everyone, and welcome to Emotional Support Human. My name is Evander. I use they, them pronouns, and this is the introduction to my first series on this channel, Adulting 101, where you get to catch up on the parts of life your parents or school didn't prepare you for. It can feel like we've been tossed into the world to sink or swim. One might even feel like a failure for not knowing how to do these sorts of jobs that come so easily to others. Many of us didn't have access to home ec classes in high school, as the number of said classes declined over time compared to our parents' generation, and many of our parents didn't pick up the slack. It's not always willful disinterest in helping us, though, as some life situations may have made it harder or impossible for us to learn certain life skills, such as housing instability and moving frequently, poverty, having to take on more family responsibilities as a child, or dealing with physical or mental illness, among many other reasons. Because mental health is a growing concern among younger generations, my approach is not going to assume you're neurotypical, or someone who has no mental illnesses or learning disorders, and otherwise thinks and perceives things in a way that society deems as normal. Though this advice is still absolutely useful to neurotypical people, as a neurodivergent person myself, I feel sometimes extra steps may be necessary to solving a problem. For example, it's one thing to teach how to call a doctor and make an appointment over the phone, but this task feels much more challenging to people with phone anxiety, and extra attention is needed to help this audience too. In this case, I'd talk about preparation for the call itself and planning out what you want to say, because for some, it's not as simple as just call the number. Since hardship, trauma, and even mental illness itself can be major factors in not learning certain life skills, I feel teaching from a neurodivergent standpoint is extremely important. To give a little background, I have diagnoses for social and general anxiety, depression, and ADD. I also suspect that I'm on the autism spectrum as well, but undiagnosed. So though my experience and viewpoint may be useful to many people who are also neurodivergent, I cannot guarantee that my experiences will be completely relatable to those who don't share the same mental illnesses. Many adult tasks that we may have problems with may be primarily physical, material problems, such as not knowing how to cook for yourself or how to sew, while many have social aspects that can extend even further into your city's or country's legal system, such as doing taxes. Human beings are a social species, and it's perfectly normal to have help with many skills, and especially develop interdependent relationships where two or more people provide help on these skills that others may not have. It's simply unrealistic to expect people to be 100% self-sufficient. This is why many jobs exist, and even certain systems as fundamental as marriage are essentially made for the purpose of creating interdependent networks to make all our lives easier. So even if you're currently dependent on a few people, don't consider it a failure on your part. If your current arrangement is stable and mutually beneficial, more power to you. Learning new life skills can still benefit your current situation and make it so much easier to get things done without having to rely as much on others, or even improve the kind of help you give your friends and people you care about. Whatever your situation, I hope I can be of some help in future videos in Adulting 101. Good luck!